hi there, ho there, friends. This is Creating Nightmares, and today we're creating the last nightmare of this game. Unless you guys want me to do the bad endings, which honestly I'd be happy to do. Today, we are doing Spirits Run. Look at her. It's gonna be very interesting. Again, we're gonna be skipping a lot of this, but we can do this. I've been told she's one of the harder killers to seduce, so this should be very interesting. Let's see how well this goes. I have coffee. Coffee's wonderful. Alright! The target has been acquired! I did nothing. As if you truly don't care that someone asked you politely. You're doing you, despite how much of a weirdo and a jerk it makes you look like. Is this some kind of display of confidence, confusion, sheer awkwardness? You feel judged. But you're not sure how. Spirit has the silence of the giggle that she quickly swallows when she sees that it caught your attention. Huntress jogs over to collect the ball from the ground next to you before heading back to the volleyball court with everyone else. Except for Spirit. She's really staring you down. Her expression hardening as you watch her. The longer you hold her gaze, the more angry she seems to become before turning with a huff and floating off to join the others. Okay. Time to answer these questions! Not at all. Hello? Gabe? Gabe, thank you. I've never thought of myself as attractive. That's bull. You're beautiful, you hear me? Narrator! Can I date you? You get a superpower, what would it be? Flight. Technically, I suppose I can fly. Honestly, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. As far as I go, I'm still not where I want to be. Best subject in school? History. I actually was really good at history. Nice and important to know what came before so that we are not doomed to repeat humanity's mistakes. I mean, we'll always, but still. Cats. What? Why is everyone looking at me? You think just because I'm the typical cute goth girl, I have some specific love for all things cats? And more specifically, black cats? Well, I do, but you can all go to hell. 3-day-old corpse. It's a pretty edgy answer. Dream job, not working. No matter what I pick, they all say pain anyway. Can you tell we've done this before? We've done this a few times. Trapper. Great. Spirit. And Huntress, you were so fun to romance last time. La 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 la. We've been through this! We've been through this before. Be great to relax for a second at the lounge. To kick up your feet, look out over the ocean, and relax on your own terms. Who would want anything else? Dry, comfortable, enjoying a cool drink on a hot day. It's the best. She is really cute, I will not lie. I totally just clued into the fact that her sheer, robe she's wearing has the Japanese death flower on it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I mean, what kind of fool, what kind of monster, what kind of mask-wearing psychopath would finally be granted a break from the constant grind of chasing and fighting to get ahead, and then choose to exert themselves in, quite frankly, any way whatsoever? Why am I the only one who gets it? It's time to stop living with their rules. I won't do it any longer. We should give her a second to calm down. Finally, freedom from the preposterous premise that the four of us would be engaged in some sort of thrilling 2-on-2 volley match. Spirit looks at you from beneath her gigantic sun hat. She takes a conspiratorial tone. I don't know whose idea volleyball was in the first place, but I hate them. I tried to feign a sprained ankle, but everyone already knows that I technically float above the ground, so nobody believed I was even putting any pressure on my joints in the first place. Then I tried to annoy everyone by not giving a crap, and then that didn't work. I tried whining, and then that didn't work. I threatened to kill every single person on the island, but it turns out I'm not the first to toss those kind of threats around on the island. Oh, her hat has it too. She's adorable. So, thanks, I guess, for getting it called off. Are we threatening to end each other again? It's right if he takes the conspiratorial tone, his eyes shifting as he slips into a loud whisper. Please just make it quick! It's what you'll be saying when we get behind the bar to make you the drink of your dreams. Anyway. I didn't come here to party, I'm just here to make the best of a strange situation. I don't know. How about a daiquiri? I know how to make that. Skip the liquor, I'll have mine virgin. Trapper snickers at your choice of words. Shut the fuck up, you meathead! Sure you will, kid. Fuck you. Don't mind him. We don't need to soak ourselves in booze just to please someone else's expectations. If you ask me, there's enough spirits here already. Besides, alcohol just numbs you to the painful realities of the world. I choose to face them head on. You'd never do something like that. I don't know. Hide from it all behind the world's largest hat or anything. Please allow me to ignore any fashion advice from the man wearing a doll's face as a mask. Not a doll's face, jerk. We fulfilled your requests. It's time for you to return the favor. I should have known there was a catch. Icebreaker time. I swear, had I known they'd pull this kind of faux, enthusiastic community-building crap, I'd have suggested we attempt to walk to the lowest point of the ocean before I ever set foot near the bar. You don't think it could be kind of fun? A little fun? Never mind. I hate it. This sucks, but it could be fine. Whatever you say. Has anyone seen my hat? You have a hat? I got too excited that he could wear a hat. If we must make small talk, I'm at least picking a topic before we end up being forced to do some lame improv game that nerds learn at their non-sports after-school activities that I definitely never did because I'm no nerd. Anyway, methinks certain someone doth protest. Sitting here on this beautiful sunny afternoon, warm sand beneath the cool fog underneath my severed feet, the topic I choose is books. Novels, comics, fiction, or non. Reading is the only real escape from the inescapable horror of life, the escape into your own mind. Considering the situation we're in, it seems an appropriate time to ask you, Michaela, what's your desert island book? The book you'd bring with you if you were, well, on an island like this. Oh, and it has to be classic horror, for reasons that should be obvious. Okay. Nothing too modern. Humanity has really gotten soft these past 100 years. So what's your favorite? Actually, between the three that are listed, I love Dracula. Frankenstein is fine. I know it's a classic, but it's not my preferred. And Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, unfortunately, is just too drawn of a read. So I actually love Dracula. Dracula is one classic that's still scary. To be seduced by some beautiful stranger, only to learn later on that they're an immortal villain. It's downright thrilling, I guess. But I was gonna say that despite the deviant behavior of Dracula and the threat of possible danger or even death that he poses, you can't help but get turned on by the liberation of the status quo that he represents. Same here. Hello! So what if some old doctor says he's a bad boy? You're supposed to reek like garlic and sleep alone? Who do they think would buy into that? If you're going to be trapped in the nightmare, that is undead life eternal, which I know a little something about, you can do a lot worse than great clothes, a castle, and a lover who doesn't take shit from anyone. The scariest part of Dracula is thinking that no one will ever be quite as interesting to make love to as a vampire. Enough of these old stories that belong to someone else. I think it's time to make up some new stories of our own. Before you know what's going on, Huntress is waving an empty vodka bottle in the air, a devilish twinkle in her half-mask-covered eye. I'd like to suggest something a little naughty. Let's all get in this circle and spin this bad boy. Hey, Trickster. Great idea. Trickster, isn't it late to introduce the new character? I thought this one was the one who gets to make all the rules. Whatever. Who's this new fan in the waiting? Beat it, hack! I don't know. What's the harm in inviting one more person to join a circle for our game? Oh, I can't stay. I was just saying it's a great idea while also teasing the secret Trickster ending. This might not be the final episode. Trickster ending! I've got much, much better things to do than hanging out here. I'm famous. Toodaloo. Later, dude. First you spin, then you swap. Spit, that is. But let's be clear, this ain't a peep show. We're here to have a good time, but in a classy way. All makeouts will happen out of view of the public eye, real romantic. Yeah, romantic. Like adults, romantic, well-adjusted adults. Kayla, you're up. You grip the ball in your hand, you put your fate in the hands of the empty bottle gods. Okay. Oh! It's... Oh! You got Huntress. Psych. You have to actually spin multiple times to get your real result. First, you get to 3 times as your true match. That's how we play hardcore spin the bottle here on the island. Okay. Well! The universe is fucking with me. Right? Huntress it is! Huntress is your true match. Ooh! Just this morning you were waking up in a strange beach surrounded by strangers with murderous intent. Now you're looking across the beach towel at Huntress, lust in her eyes, sweat glistening on her skin, your heart races. You can feel your pulse pounding in your ears. Huntress takes you by the hand and you sit face to face in a private section of the bar. She begins to reach for you, putting her hands on your shoulders. You're sweating, but not in the sexy way she is. You're sweating in the gross way you'd sweat at the interview of a job you're not even remotely qualified for. You don't know what to do. She'll never be able to look at your If you try to lock lips in this state, you might gross her out so completely that she'll never be romantically interested. Huntress, I'm sorry, but I can't kiss you right now. Huh? Cool. It's not you. Well, it is you, but in a good way. I think you're great. Maybe too great. I don't trust easily, and I'm afraid of what it might mean to connect with you so early. It's not that I don't want to. I just don't think it's the right thing right now. I completely understand. Amazing, but also understand this. If you tell anyone I got sucked, I'll break you in half, okay? I'll tell them you almost chewed my whole face clean off. Oh, I like that! Breaking up a passionate moment, let's move on to dinner! Minigame. Go! Okay. South Theater Company. I'm super self-conscious about the way I eat. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, is it so warm out? Oh, holy God. Is that spirit holding my body? Don't you just love the ocean at night? I do. She is prettier the longer I look at her. Shit. Staring out over the vast darkness of the ocean really validates the feelings inside me that were all truly insignificant, and the only thing worth pursuing is revenge. I have to wonder, how could anyone believe anything else? You look out to the darkness of the night and ponder her question. It's a simple question. How could they? How could anyone not feel small and alone in the face of such a massive nothingness? I may not remember much about my life before, but there's one thing I know to be true. I've always been alone. And I always will be alone. Spirit's turned from looking to the ocean and is looking directly at you. It's a funny idea, isn't it? Being alone. Together. It's the best we can hope for. Maybe. Or maybe it's too much to hope for. Maybe it's impossible to pretend we know anything. Is that just arrogance? She's crying! Ugh, I'm so dumb. So busy trying to please everyone and be the perfect student, and the perfect employee, and the perfect daughter. I didn't take care of myself, and now I'm all I've got. Worst of all, I got distracted from my true purpose, my destiny, the purpose that was sitting inside me my whole life. Okay, so this might sound a bit silly, but Spirit looks around to see if anyone else is on the beach, and she's convinced that it's only you two. There's a dragon that lives inside me. I've always known. But I've tried to ignore it. When I couldn't ignore it, I tried to push it down. I'm so stupid. You're not stupid. That sounds badass. Right? But I didn't let it out, and then I, chop chop. And now that dragon's pretty much a one-track revenge beast. But enough about me. What's inside of you, stranger? I killed to have a dragon. I mean, a dragon sounds awesome. Honestly, though, I don't feel like I've got anything inside me at all. Just darkness. Never-ending darkness. We thought the spirit was the biggest goth on the island. Perhaps I could light a torch and search through that darkness. Ma'am! And Dwight and Claude are here. Moving on to story time. I'm almost out of coffee. Hope your own fire pit works great, right? I'll, be right back. Let me pick Spirit to tell a story! I'm actually excited to see what Spirit's story is, so let's see what we have. I choose you, Spirit. Really? You want to hear from me? Spirit huffs and dramatically rolls her eyes as she gets to her feet in front of the campfire. Don't let her talk you out of it. She's great with ghost stories. I don't know where she gets it, but she comes up with the scariest stuff, seriously disturbing, even to me, and I literally pulled a guy's skull and spine out once with my bared hands. Talk about bullshit stories! Shut your mouth, meathead! If everyone else is gonna chit-chat, I guess I can sit down. Huntress's eyes go red behind her mask as Trapper and Ray take their seat. They know when it's worth fighting, and when it's not. Well, I hate to break it to you, but tonight's story isn't scary. It's a romance. Too late now, though. I was selected, so I'm gonna tell my story. I call it The Prisoner's Kiss. You notice that Huntress and Wraith are both sharing a giant tub of popcorn. Nobody offered you popcorn. It was a dark summer night. Warm rain seeped from the sky like blood from an old wound. Detective Hada, a celebrated investigator and renowned hostage negotiator, was called to the scene of a strange occurrence unlike anything she had ever seen before. When she arrived, the scene was chaotic. Crowds had begun to gather. A dozen other officers were doing everything they could to keep curious onlookers away, but how could anyone resist wanting to know more? For there, in the middle of a busy market, had appeared a giant box. Strange, alien in its appearance, and massive in size. No one knew how it got there. Was it delivered? Built on site? In such a busy area, how could something like this just appear? A mystery. It was as if conjured by magic. But this was no illusion. The huge box was very real, and someone was trapped inside. Spirit pauses, her story to look from face to face of each audience member. She has no expression, but you feel her vibrating with energy. She's in her element. Help me! Cried someone inside the box. It was a man, terrified, trapped, imprisoned, his voice trembling. By now, it was as if every detective in the city was there, looking this strange structure up and down, inspecting it on every side. It didn't make sense. There were no doors, no windows, no fasteners or seams. It was completely solid, and much too heavy to move by hand. Solid, that is, except for a single small slit, just enough to see the bloodshot eyes of the prisoner trapped inside. I don't know what happened. I woke up, and here I was. I'm so scared. Please help me, cried the man, as if pleading for his life. No stranger to tense situations. Detective Hada comforted the man. She used her training to calm him and buy time for the other investigators. However, time did not bring clarity, only anxiety as the night dragged on, with no progress in opening the box. And as the night grew longer, the seeping rain puddling on the ground, the man inside grew more desperate, more sad and lonely, more pathetic and in need of help. But Detective Hada was no help at all. Powerless to save him, guilt began to weigh on her, like it never had before. Don't let me die in here, the man begged. Don't let me die alone! Stay calm, instructed Detective Hada. You're not alone. I'm here. Hell, half the town is here. We're all in this together, and we won't let this be the end of your story. Looking through the narrowest of passageways, Detective Hada watched her own reflection in the tear-filled eyes of the stranger, sad prisoner. Together, they both wept in silence at the hopelessness of the moment. Promise? Asked the man. Promise that I'm not alone? Yes, she promised. I do. A simple pledge, she felt an instant connection like she had never felt before. Not to her family, not to her friends, not to any of the other hostages she had ever worked so hard to free before. And so, when the man's eyes closed and backed away, it didn't scare Detective Hada, for she knew he would return, and he did, pressing his lips up to the narrow slit in the horrible puzzle box, repeating his question again, steam flowing from his mouth as he asked, Promise? Promise that I'm not alone? Yes, she promised, I do. And pressing her palms against the cold outside of the box, without truly knowing why, Detective Hada leaned forward and placed her own lips up to the opening, letting her breath creep into the strange structure, allowing her warm lips to fall on the man's. It was a gentle kiss, a moment of compassion. She could feel in this brief contact the beating of her heart, pulsing blood through every inch of her body, matched beat for beat in this soft touch. Thank you, said the man. no trace of fear remaining in his voice, and he backed away into the darkness, disappearing in a single moment of eerie calmness. "Get back!" yelled the officer, suddenly thrusting himself between Detective Hada and the box, breaking a silence that would soon be filled with a cacophony of whirring gears and clicking latches, a symphony of mechanical activity happening all at once. Something had triggered, as if an unseen lever pulled, and the side of the giant box began to slide open. Detective Hada gripped her flashlight tightly and pushed forward into the foggy interior of the giant box. Her feet splashed in the puddle of rainwater, her heart racing, as she swept her light from side to side. And that's when her eyes landed on the man. Or at least, landed on what should have been him. There in the corner of the box was a pile of pieces, like parts of a doll, almost pulled apart. Or, perhaps that's just how Detective Hada had to think of him in that moment to survive. A collection of segments, limbs, pieces, disconnected from one another, cleanly severed and placed in a neat little pile. And atop that pile, a head, cold, pale, eyes open, lips an icy blue. Spirit stares into the fire, her own expression lifeless, her lips blue, tears fall from her chin and soak into the sand at her feet. You're blown away by the story, and it's safe to say you're not alone. Everyone else is looking into the fire or up at the sky. Anywhere but at Spirit. It was you who chose her, you who initiated this harrowing tale. So sad, so creepy, so sensual. She really went into great detail when it came into describing the kiss. Too much detail, and now no one is sure how to act. Dwight and Claudette are staring daggers at you. You have to do something. What the hell did I do? This game is supposed to be a lighthearted romp. Please, I said do something. You stand, and without saying anything approach Spirit, reaching your arms around her for a hug. Her robe, hovering in the air, begins to wrap itself around you and squeeze you into her. It's kind of like being hugged back, but also like being tied up. It's certainly not what you expected. Instinctually, you pull yourself away, but it's an awkward movement, and you nearly fall over into the fire. Spirit says nothing, and floats away without so much as a goodbye. You, meanwhile, realize everyone had just watched this truly strange interaction from the corners of their eye. On the note, everyone decides it's time for a break to split up for the evening. Whew! That was an interesting story, and I might reanalyze it later. Anyway, I was watching you while I told my story. I could tell it was having an effect on you. This fog that follows me around, I could feel you breathing heavy, taking me in. You and I are both absolutely flabbergasted at that piece of information. Legit, you learn something new every day. Even when you're narrator. You're doing it again right now. You need to calm down. You should come to the hot tub with me. Okay. I just want to be totally clear. Even though that story bore some similarities to my life, it was not about me in any way, shape, or form. Not symbolically, not metaphorically, not any other Italy. I believe you completely. Sure, you were cut into pieces in your life, and so is the person in the story. A perfectly normal coincidence. Sure, you're on this island, trapped one might say, in a most puzzling place. Also a completely regular coincidence. And sure, his lips were blue. Your lips are blue. Really? You call this blue? Searching for answers, hoping to find revenge! Okay, so the similarities stop there, I guess. Coincidences. Sorry, the coincidences. Get this to your head, whoever you are. Samurai blood runs through my veins. Or well, maybe it's coagulated by now. No need to sweat the details. Regardless. I'm a descendant of noble warriors. Thousands of years of trainings with blood-plated weapons preceded my entrance into this world. Do you know how many swords that is? A lot. You've got to figure that with that many sharp edges, a person is bound to get disconnected from a body part here or there. The truth is, I wouldn't typically share this, so don't go blabbing about it. I dreamt that story, like watching a movie in my sleep, when I was just a little girl, years before my father sunk his blade into my skin. I've never been able to shake it. That's a very adult story for a child to dream. Do you believe me? Who says I believe in anything? And for that matter, who even cares what I think? Our beliefs are our business, no one else's. Well, I'll be. That's a strong take. You've got to cultivate your own garden. I just admire you, Michaela. You're not offering up your thoughts or opinions simply to feed the curiosity of others, like some of the more desperate residents of our little paradise. Good for you, I say. Now you got me wondering, do I believe you? If you believe her or not? And if I know everything, because trust me, I do know everything, don't I already know the answer to my own question? Huh. Anyway, I might be the youngest one here, but I'm no kid. I do, however, love being wrapped up in a fresh, clean towel. My mother used to help me wash my hair when I was young. She'd comb out all the tangles and tie a ribbon around it before sending me on my way. I miss her. You watch as Spirit stares off into the distance, her hand gripping into a tight fist. She doesn't notice you're watching her at first. When she catches you looking, turns away, roughly grabs a towel from Dwight, and pushes him and Claudette aside as she floats off. Spirit, are you around? I was wondering if I could get a little company. She tells you her secret for falling asleep. I like to listen to few music, dabble in some essential oils, and steam my pores. Really? What? Even the dead like to relax. I don't really have any of those things. Oh. Spirit reaches out and presents you with a unique item. A small comb carved from bamboo. I guess you could hold on to this. It was a gift from my mother. I'll want it back, though. If you lose it, well, you'll get your revenge on me. If it's the last thing I do. You feel sleepy. Hi! Why are you drawing me? Saw you a spirit before bedtime. You should know they're not very what they seem. Not like me, who's completely trustworthy. I was checking to make sure you weren't sleeping near one of my... Never mind. Are you drawing me? You're drawing sequins around me. You know, go away. Go away. Interview time! I know that everyone thinks of me as a beautiful, cold-blooded monster. I can't help it. Circulation just isn't my thing. I don't choose to be cold. Just cute hat and robe, okay? Those are a choice, sure. If someone were to come around and capture my heart, at least that beats being stabbed. Besides, if I'm gonna get bloody revenge on a society that's used me to throw me away, maybe it wouldn't hurt to have a little help. And it's time for the choices between Spirit and I don't know who the second person's gonna be, actually. I'm going to assume Wraith, but it might be someone else, I don't know. Spirit, that checks out. We should get out of here. I know a place that brings a bit of welcome darkness to this tropical nightmare. Best of all, I'm the only one that seems to know about it, so we won't be bothered there. I don't even know what I'm telling you, really. It's my private spot, but I guess I've got a feeling that you'll appreciate the way that I do. Not like the other killers. They don't get me. But I'll get them. Oh, I'll get them. And I'll get my father, too, and I'll punish him for what he did to my mother and me. Spirit radiates a menacing aura. You've seen her get mad, which is probably enough to scare you into compliance. But you've also seen that there's a more sensitive side to hiding with her. You consider her offer, but before you can decide to go off with Spirit, Huntress interjects. Yes, you could go off with Spirit today. She seems pretty cool, actually. I think if we weren't here on the island, fighting against each other, for your attention, we might actually be friends. We might have something, though. You and I couldn't let you go up to her goth lighthouse without speaking up first. I did your route last time, Huntress. I love you dearly, but... I gotta go with Spirit. You've made the correct decision. But know this, just because you picked me doesn't mean I'm going to slobber all over you like a dog. Understand? Of course. You've still got a lot to prove to me. I want to believe that our connection is real, but I've been hurt before. Literally, with a katana. A katana that I now wield in spectral form, you feel me? Because you will feel me if you try any of that macho chopper crap. I feel you. Anyway, moving on. You look Spirit up and down and notice she's wearing all black, just like the lighthouse. I'm noticing a theme. Is black your favorite color? Black isn't really a color at all. It's the absence of color. It's a void. Like me. Spirit smiles. Nature abhors a vacuum. You're not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Lapping waves of the shore and the coast set a romantic tone. The fog that surrounds Spirit everywhere she goes blends perfectly with the mist rolling up over the rocky shoreline. She's at one with this place, and so are you. Peace doesn't last too long, however, as the lighthouse lets out an eerie howl, like a monster dying. Spirit has to yell at you just to be heard. Oh yeah, it does that! The light and sound recede, and the two of you sit in silence. Spirit lays a towel down and then pats on it gently. Clearly she wants your company, so you oblige. When you do, she takes out some sunscreen and hands it to you. You're not exactly sure what to do. Is this an invitation to get in a little hands-on action? What else could it be? Right. Okay. No, probably not. Thanks. I forgot to bring my own when I lost my memory and fell into the ocean. No problem, I figured as much. She turns away while you slather lotion all over your body. You need any help reaching those difficult spots? You see a hand float around your back. Sure, why not? Spirit's hand on your back is ice cold, but she has a soft touch. When she's done, she takes care of herself. You watch the Spirit apply sunscreen to herself in the most unique way by floating her own hand around her back to spread it on. If you don't mind, what's the deal with the shards of glass sticking out from all over your body? You really want to know? You're not creeped out by them? You're not creeped out, just nervous. I was just thinking about what you must have gone through to end up like that. It had to have been horrible. It was worse than death. At least death ends eventually. But I wouldn't want to forget it. It literally made me who I am right now. Truth is, I could pull all these bits of glass that are stuck in my flesh out right now if I wanted to, but I don't want to. Each shard is a reminder of what my father did to me, what the world did to him. That's why I refuse to play the universe's game. I hate the idea that I'll be forced to succumb to pressure the way he did in the end. The way that fear and anger filled him up, and then he came bursting out. The way his misery flooded our home and drowned us all. It's hard not to think about revenge. The dragon inside me, it's doing to me what the world did to him. I have to fight it. Even though it gives me strength, I must maintain control. You're stronger than he ever was, I'm sure of it. I appreciate that. I suppose a little help isn't a bad thing. In life, in love. This world has a lot to endure alone. Maybe I could use a little assistance reaching my delicate toes for a bit of lotion. You know, having your body contorted into these vengeful poses. It really does a number on my joints. It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. Anyway. Oh god, it's a mini game? I suppose the lotion made it to where it was supposed to be going eventually. And you weren't too incredibly wasteful. I'm not a woman who believes in rushing through things just to get them done. If there's a next time, I'm sure you'll do better. You look at thy house, its ominous dark form hovering above this moment between Spirit and yourself. Evil as it clearly is, in this case, it does you a solid by blurting out another ominous moan and burst of black light that rescues you from the awkward silence. From seemingly out of nowhere, an ancient-looking ship appears in the water. It glows itself a thing of death, a spirit of a ship that once sailed these seas centuries ago. A tattered black flag whips in the ocean air above the ship as it careens towards the shore. Before crashing on the rocks, it must have been drawn to the lighthouse. You hear the distant shouting of sailors as the old wooden ghost ship breaks and then sinks into the water. Alright, it does that sometimes too. Should we do something? Nah, the sharks will take care of it. Within a minute, the ocean is quiet again except for the waves. Note to self, hungry sharks. Wraith! Hello. Hello, sir. It's Wraith. I didn't come here to break up your date or something. I came here for that. Wraith points to the lighthouse. It is indifferent to his attention. I've been seeing it in my dreams, shining its strange light on me. I can't avoid it. Through woods and walls, nothing seems to stop it from reaching me. Duh, it's a haunted lighthouse. It does that to everyone at some point. You're no more special than me, ghosted pirates, or that mermaid I saw washed up on the shore that one time. Mermaids, by the way, aren't even close to as beautiful in person as they are in movies. More sea witch than underwater princess, if you get my drift. It's all part of a vast conspiracy, an epic river of lies that runs beneath the island. I'm pretty sure I figured it out, the basics anyhow. If you come with me, you can get cut! Spirit waves her katana, nearly trimming a couple buttons off Wraith's tropical top. He takes the hit and backs away a few steps. For the quiet guy, he never really shuts up. Okay, be that way. You'll see. Alone at last, tension broken, deathly moans quiet, the Wraith bench back to wherever he hangs out. Spirit seems to be feeling it too. She starts to adjust her robe, and you get a peek at the bathing suit. For someone who seems intent on proving how little she cares about what everyone thinks, she's putting a lot of work into getting into that suit. It's got straps for days. You two focus on what's happening with Spirit, and you don't see the interruption coming. God damn them. Okay, time to go have a conversation with whoever. There's no announcement here. But there is a me! Hi, Wraith. You got mud in your ears, friend? I told you to get lost. Don't you see, lost is what I am, and so are you. But I know the way out. I've got a map back in my secret lair, literally and figuratively. Yeah, I know the difference. That's why you should ditch Spirit and come spend the rest of the night with me instead. You've got a secret lair? Damn it. Who said anything about a secret lair? I said I've got sap in my secret hair. There's a flap secret. Don't change the subject! You're trying to make a mess of the first nice day I've had in I don't know how long, because it's not even clear what year it is. But in a while, I'm not about to be ditched for the likes of you. It's not me messing things up. Like I keep trying to tell you, it's the dang island. I've come to accept a difficult truth that's happening here. Well, I'm convinced it's our fate. It's not anyone's decision. It's simply the way it'll be. There's no fighting it. What would you even know about fighting? All you know is hiding in your spooky little secret hair and crying like a baby while ringing your little bell. So don't tell me what I can and can't fight back against. I was born a fighter. A dragon lives inside me. I cannot fight. I can't not fight, even when all I might want to do is hide. Don't you see this giant hat? It's a metaphor. If I do have a fate, my fate is to win every fight that comes my way. Guys. Oh, you hide? I've seen you hide. You do your phase walking routine. What do you call it? It's basically cloaking. And we all know that cloaking is a type of hiding. Guys. You cloak. I don't cloak. I'm not a cloaker. I phase walk out in the open. You just can't see me. I have no idea what they're talking about. I think I was brought here to make a choice, so I'm going to do that now. And I choose, we are doing Spirit's route. When it comes down to it, neither of these two seem easy to love. Damn, Spirit. Literally, his broken glass shards sticking out of her. Spirit and I were actually having a nice time. Besides, if it's my fate to end up on this island, well, to hell with fate, really. And don't take this the wrong way, Wraith, but the amount of awkwardness you pack into a single day, no wonder you're so skinny. All that second-guessing yourself must burn a lot of calories. No offense taken, it's... Yeah, okay, it's true. I can be a little awkward, I guess, sometimes. Right. So I'm gonna stick with Spirit. She breathes a sigh of relief. I've got enough revenging to do without having to kill you and Wraith too. We return to the lighthouse and find a cherry tree. Do you know the meaning of the cherry blossom? They're beautiful, but also quite symbolic. Of course, like all good symbols, their meaning is pretty complicated. What do they mean to you? For many people, being among cherry blossoms is like having a celebration of life. People travel great distances just to be near their vibrant bloom. However, as beautiful as they might be, they aren't magical. They're simply flowers. They quickly die and fade away, and for this reason, they are also a symbol of the fleeting nature of life, of our, fragile mortality. In a way, it's the specter of looming death that calls attention to this special moment to see and appreciate life. How does that duality make you feel, Michaela? Frustrated. You look down and see a crumbling cherry blossom on the ground at your feet. As you stare at it, something begins to rage inside you like a giant. How can anyone find comfort, even for a moment, with death and decay looming on the horizon? It makes me frustrated. It makes me mad. I want to do something about it. I want to strike back against this shitty reality. Spirit lets you go off, staying calm despite your bubbling rage. She must know thoughts like this. I want to be alive. You feel connected to her at this moment, more than you have at any point before. Once the fallen cherry blossoms represented the souls of samurai warriors, those with noble characters who did not fear death, those who were killed in the greatest sacrifice to honor the emperor. Their lives were short, and their purpose gave them beauty. Those warriors saw death coming, but they never despaired. They stood and faced it. They held their swords and struck down their fear. But despite the samurai spirit that lives on in me, in my noble bloodline, my life has ended, but my death continues to stretch on. The cycle is frozen. This cherry tree, it's not real. Though its petals fall, they soon replenish. It's as if it were installed here by someone. By something with no respect for the balance of life and death. Sorry to interrupt. You know we don't believe you, right? Yeah. This time it's a good reason. We're not being manipulated to do anything. Nobody accused you of that, but okay. It's time for dinner. I guess it's time to go, or whatever. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I enjoyed it. Me too. Booyah! Let's get to dinner! Time to talk about our date! It wasn't really a date. More like two people avoiding everyone else and choosing to be alone, but doing it in a relatively close proximity to each other. That's exactly right. Couldn't have not said anything of value better myself. Spirit's happy with the way you portrayed the date. To the fire pit for the next round of storytelling! We want you to tell a story. I bet. I'll tell a romance story. About two lovers who take poison together and die foaming at the mouth. What about two strong hunters who meet when they both try to bludgeon the same wily Wolverine? Not quite. It's about my parents. They met at a party in college he was hosting. She'd been dragged there by some friends. They couldn't have been more different, and yet, as the night went on, they were drawn to each other. She made fun of his taste in music, and he took an interest in her major, women's studies. They were married within 2 months. Bit soon to know if you can trust someone, don't you think? It's so sweet. Exactly. I learned a lot about love from them. If you know, you know. Some people don't need years to get acquainted with their partner. Love could spark from a mere look across a campfire. Nah, you've got their attention. Each killer is furiously attempting to catch your eye from across the fire pit. Except Trickster, who's wandered over to the bar and is loudly playing his own music on headphones to drown you out. That wasn't a very good story. Pick someone else. Okay. I wish for Spirit! I suppose I could tell a story. I don't really want to, but anything I say is sure to be better than whatever you get out of anyone else in the group. Like all good stories, I stole this one from someone in the past who's dead now, and can't do anything about it. That's a face! It's called The Bride, technically, The Fiancé. One winter, a young couple decided that the next spring they would be married. The two were madly in love and could not wait for the snow to melt so they could join in matrimony and unite their souls for eternity. For the latest bridal trends, they decided to have their wedding ceremony at the edge of the woods by a beautiful, shabby chic farmhouse. Together they spent months planning the details of the wedding. The two curated invitations, figured out seating arrangements, and tasted 100 cakes before settling on the perfect one. They chose Lilikoi, by the way, so fancy. When it came time to figure out the decorations, however, the bride, the fiancé, I guess, since she wasn't actually married yet, wanted to take the lead and set the style. After all, her boyfriend had been wearing cargo shorts and open-toed sandals for pretty much their entire relationship, so he was not to be trusted. Having decided on such lovely natural settings for the ceremony, the fiancé decided that she would create unique floral arrangements from the local wildflowers that surrounded the farmhouse. As soon as the sun rose on the first day of spring, she set off to the woods. Each day, she spent hours mapping out where the best blooms would be found and prepared to pick them herself the morning of the wedding, so that they'd be at the height of their freshness and beauty. Enamored with the incredible variety of flowers in the woods, she surveyed the bride, the fiancé, since they had not yet been married, became obsessed with knowing just how many there were, so that she could choose the absolute best. When the fateful morning of her big day finally came, the fiancé told her husband-to-be that she had one final errand before the wedding. Excited for the ceremony to come, she dressed in her beautiful white gown and set off into the woods to gather flowers. Treading carefully, she followed her route, selecting only the best stems and collecting them in a basket. However, when she came upon a once familiar clearing, something was not as she expected. Somehow, it was more beautiful than it had ever been before, and just on the edge of her view was a new bush filled with blossoms so vibrant and colorful she became dizzy just looking at them. But the fiancé ignored her sudden spell and pressed ahead, scooping up flower after flower, and every time she did, she noticed just further ahead, and possibly, even more beautiful blossoms. Carried by the sweet fragrance of spring air, the bride, the fiancé, crept farther and farther into the woods, until she turned a corner, stepped over a mossy fallen tree trunk, and realized she had been here before. But this wasn't the clearing she remembered, or at least, not how she remembered it. The flowers were suddenly overripe, decaying and falling from their stems into festering moldy piles on the floor. Where bees had been, and now flies buzzed. Where the scene of flowers had once intoxicated her, the odor of mildew now made her sick. She turned and looked back, but the path was dark. Into a shadowy glen she walked and walked and walked. That day, as guests gathered at the farmhouse, the fiancée was nowhere to be seen. Her friends, family, and love began to look for her, but to no avail. They searched the pasture, the tree line, and into the forest, but there were no beautiful wildflowers or young lovers to be seen, just old dead trees, trampled vines, and moss-covered rocks. The fiancé stayed a fiancé for eternity, always wandering, looking for her fresher blooms to clip, but never finding them. Distracted by a never-ending search for perfection, unable to see that you are loved for who you are. Out there, all alone. I thought it was beautiful and sad, just like someone we know. How's story time? Good? Great, let's move on. And let's spend the evening with Spirit. Alright. At the bar. Whew. Who's ready to get wasted? As you know, I don't drink, so not me. Unless you mean wasted as in killed, in which case, Dad, if you're out there somewhere, I will find you and waste you for what you've done to me. You really don't drink, ever? Is that, because it will just fall out a hole in your stomach, or... I don't drink alcohol because alcohol is poison of the body and the mind, and I don't need to act like a fool to have a good time. Then why did you choose mixology lesson as your romantic nighttime activity? Everyone knows this kind of date is just an excuse to get loaded up on booze and make terrible decisions. It's true. Dwight, who ordered the soda with a splash of my private business? Because that's off menu. Okay. Mixology is a real thing, and it doesn't require alcohol to be interesting. I'll have you all know that. I worked at a restaurant before I was violently executed. By your father, on whom you will have your bloody vengeance. How about you? Do you drink? I've got the impression that tonight will be a night I want to remember perfectly, so I'm going to pass on the alcoholic drinks. Hear, hear. Alcohol is a false escape. Besides, it's not like sober people can't have fun. You watch a spirit picks up a plump cherry and roughly stabs a little plastic sword through it. Cherry juice splatters everywhere, and its little fruity guts flop out onto Spirit's lap. Oopsie. One of the outsides are wearing black. It hardly sheds stains. Take backsies. So, what drink shall we make? How about a dark and stormy drink for my dark and stormy date? Okay, that one's cute. Allows to demonstrate how a dark and stormy is made. First, rum, or in this case rum extract. It's a bit of an apple juice. Poured over ice, then fresh ginger beer is added, garnished with a lime wheel, and drink at the end. Rum substitute ginger beer over ice. Don't forget the lime wheel. Rum substitute ginger beer over ice with a lime wheel. Isn't this fun? Honestly, Spirits is pretty fun. Honestly, it's the most drama-free fun I've had since I got here. And since you picked a simple but delicious drink, we've got plenty of time left to relax. Want to make out a little? You breathe in a sip of your drink and immediately begin coughing before you can get a yes out. Want to make out a little? The date's descriptions are exactly the same as they always are. Tomorrow you'll spit in the face of God, die, and be reborn anew. I am intrigued. Okay. Time to eliminate someone. Okay. So it's time to eliminate. During Wraiths, I eliminated Trapper. During Trapper, I eliminated Wraith. During Huntress, I eliminated Spirit. So during Spirits, I'm eliminating Huntress. I hate to get rid of anyone. Mostly because you all scare me so much. But also because it just doesn't seem fair. But life's not fair, is it? With her strong arms that could probably hurl me back to the mainland, a face no one has ever seen, a tragic backstory she loves to bring up whenever there's a break in the conversation, a Huntress, I'm describing you. This hurts, but I have to eliminate you. Phew! Honestly, this is a bit of a relief for me. I don't have to constantly try to impress you. It's been exhausting. Tonight, this fancy attire is coming off, and the sweatpants are going on. Tomorrow I think I'll stand in the ocean and catch salmon with my bare hands. Yeah, I said bare hands. Cool. Let's see what Spirit has to say, and what Huntress has to say. Huntress's eyes are filled with anguish. The bunny ears on her mask have drooped. It is as I feared. I am a wild animal and a lovable beast of the forest. I shall diminish and go into the east and remain the huntress. I really hurt her feelings. Of course Michaela isn't me. Why wouldn't they be? I'm thoughtful, beautiful, surrounded by a calming mist. I've also got gray hair. And since I'm technically dead, I'm extremely low maintenance. Look, I don't like to throw the term anime waifu around too often, but... if the body pillow fits, snuggle it, you know what I mean? I actually found out recently you can buy all of them on body pillows. And I'm not gonna lie, if I could get a huntress body pillow, I'd be so happy. No offense, Spirit. See these flowers? It is time to give them to Spirit. You approach Spirit, peering below the brim of her impressively large hat and into her haunting eyes. Spirit, since I met you, I've been enchanted by your presence. You've changed me to be a better person, and resist the urge to show me the sharp end of your katana. For that, I thank you. I'm ready to take our relationship to the next level. And we shall. Up to the eye of the dark storm that is our reality, to the lantern room of the Black Lighthouse. It's time to see what you're made of. Let's go! Okie dokie! We've reached the Black Lighthouse. I'm excited about today. See? Spirit places her wrist delicately on your hand, in your hand, and presses your fingers down against her skin. It's cool to the touch, but you feel a pulse. My blood is absolutely pumping. What happens now? Now I show you something no one has ever seen up close before. Well, no one has lived to tell about it. We're going there. Spirit points to the top of the lighthouse amongst the circling birds. What's actually up there? Have you seen it? Hey y'all, how's everyone doing today? Wraith? Hi, Wraith. You seem chipper. Something strange is going on. He takes in a deep breath, sucking in the ocean air like it's the greatest air that's ever been sucked. Kayla, thank you. Thank you for choosing anyone else to go on a date with today. Alone, again, forever. This is how I was meant to be. I feel alive. Are you done? We're kind of, on that date you just mentioned? I'm glad you're feeling better, Wraith. But like she said, we're in the middle of something. Do you mind? Oh, right. What you do? Head up to the... I love it up there. You can really see the whole island from there. In fact, Spirit, I thought you said no one else has been up there and lived to tell about it. But this sounds exactly like telling you about it. Technically, I don't think Wraith counts as being alive. I mean, I don't maintain the canon, but... Spirit waves her arms at Wraith from head to toe. And if he's not dead now, he's gonna be when I punish him for interrupting my date! Hey, we can solve our problems without our hair floating up into menacing shapes. I'll be over here, running away. Enjoy the view! I think Wraith was kidding about that whole being up there. Honestly, the view isn't even of the island. What you can see is mostly ocean on account of it being, a lighthouse. However, that does bring up an interesting point regarding your, how do I say? Spirit's hand floats up as she scratches her head, contemplating. You don't usually see her lost words like this. What's your mortal status? Because despite what our lanky friend seems to think, the lighthouse is not to be trifled with. It's a beacon of death and suffering that brings doom to it from all corners of the world, if not further. I think I'm alive. I'm here with you, walking on this beach, feeling the water on my feet, feeling the sun on my skin. Here with me, the Spirit. Does that really make you alive? I guess I don't know. If you come with me up to the eye of the Black Lighthouse, you may never return. Is that a risk you're willing to take? Because we have something, I won't deny it. I feel it. I'd hate for you to simply turn to ash. If we were to commit right here and now to figuring this out as friends, we could put that risk off for another time. Just be friends? Oh, is that her way of letting you down easy? I don't know if I want that friendship. I want you. That's why I chose you. I can't decide this for you. I can only warn you that it may not be safe. You might die up there, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm ready to go up and maybe die. I don't need another friend. I want something more. I'd risk my life for it. She smiles a quirky smile. Right this way. Let's go! Inside the lighthouse, it is almost pitch black. It was seemingly day when you stepped through the door, but inside a place like this is a void. The last thing you see is the final rays of sun. Leave you is a horrible sight, a petrified body laying on the stairs, reaching not up but down, as if it had been crawling. Watch your step. The things we do for love. Ooh, it's spooky. When you arrive in the lantern room at the top of the black lighthouse, you breathe a sigh of relief. The light is out, seemingly defunct. Dust cakes the room as though hasn't been operated for a century. However, somehow, it was just morning a moment ago. Now it's night. What do you mean a moment ago? We've been standing here looking out over the ocean all day. I've really enjoyed the peaceful time together with you, taking the view, standing in complete silence for hours. It was kind of my perfect date. Really? I don't remember that. I just called it a perfect date and you can't be bothered to remember it? What kind of game are you playing with me? I want to remember it. It's just that for some reason my mind went completely blank. But hey, I'm not dead. Or you're already dead and have been this whole time. Oh, that's true. Maybe we'll never know. It doesn't look like the light's working. Even turned off, the light has a power to it. The massive lens reflects moonlight through itself, a subtle sparkle that has a hypnotic effect. Maybe that's where the day went, staring into this light as the sun fell and the moon rose. Thanks for spending the day with me. I really had a good time. That's it? Don't get me wrong, this is really cool and all, I guess I don't know what I expected. I suppose if you thought we were walking into your death and nothing happened, it might feel a bit anticlimactic. Sorry. Anyhow, it's time to go. Here, let me flip on the light for the staircase so it's easier to get down. Huh. The stairs look pretty dark. Maybe Spirit's interrupted by a strange hum, and then it becomes frighteningly clear to you. That switch wasn't for the stairs. It was for the main lantern. A lantern that is now beginning to power up. Thanks, Spirit! The faint smell of burning begins to reach up your nose. Oops. Looks like maybe that switch wasn't for the stair lights at all. Let's see who's really alive and who's really dead, I suppose. It's bound to happen. You slam your eyes closed, hoping that somehow not looking into the light itself will protect you. Not sure I see the logic in that, but okay. I want to see it, but I'm scared. Don't look directly into the light. Open your eyes and look only at me. I'll keep you safe. Oh! Minigame! Fun! Are you okay? You seem okay. I hope I haven't ruined this by pushing you to do something you weren't meant to do. You're so brave. Maybe not so coordinated, but certainly brave. I'm so lucky you put yourself through this for me. It shows you're real. Despite your attempt to resist it, the incredible force of energy from the Black Lighthouse's lantern eye refuses to subside. No, it can't be ignored. It doesn't matter if you look directly at it or not. In the end, that was a trivial game. This is life and real magic. You stare at it now, and the power penetrates your mind. Pretty. How are things? Doing good? I don't know. Ocean passed out. You wait to hear Spirit's muffled voice. You got a terrible taste in your mouth like burnt hair. The air feels damp and smells like ash. It takes time for the sound to clear up, but eventually Spirit's words start to make sense to you. However, it's clear she's talking to someone else, not you. You know how sometimes people say, it's not you, it's me? Well, this time it's you, and it's also me. I can't believe I thought you would change for me. I can't believe I thought what you were doing was a sacrifice. You never gave anything up for me. Well, today I saw what love looks like, and it looks a whole lot different than this. I don't think you're hearing me, which is weird because I'm practically shouting. Nobody breaks up with Trapper. Nobody. What?! Oh yeah? Fine. Nobody breaks up with Trapper, but I'm not doing that. I'm dumping. Don't you say it! I'm dumping Evan McMillan, and there's nothing you or he can do about it. It's over between us. Evan! Evan! Rin. Trapper turns from Spirit and looks directly at you. You realize that you're laying on the ground of some weird tunnel. I think your shouting woke up Michaela. My shouting?! I'm sorry. I think I interrupted something very personal and also quite scary. I swear, I wasn't trying to listen in, but I heard a lot. Probably not everything. I think I woke up in the middle. What did you hear? You dumping Trapper? We were never together. I mean, we were together. Wink, wink, wink. I know you're wearing a mask, but we can see your eyes. You don't need to say wink, wink, wink. Another reason I'm right to have dumped you.
You did not. It was mutual.
The jig is, as they say. They know you're awake now, and you're gonna have to deal with this awkward situation head on. Clearly, I shouldn't be here. You two are having a very personal conversation that I don't need to be involved in. I don't even know how I got here. Not here on this island, or here in this creepy tunnel. As far as the island goes, your guess is as good as mine. As far as the tunnel goes, we brought you here. We? You and Trapper? But after the lighthouse light came on, you blacked out on your way down. I thought you might have hit your head or something. It's hard to tell what blood is new or old around here. Either way, I wanted to get you someplace safe, so I asked Trapper for help. It's not that I can't carry you, it's just I didn't feel like it, you know? I hate anything messing with my shards. Trapper, on the other hand, he loves nothing more than having an unconscious body draped over his shoulder. I could have asked Claudette and Dwight for help, but I don't trust them. But you trust Trapper! Like and trust are two different things. You might think Trapper can be a real jerk, and you'd be right. But you get what you get with But you get what you see with him. I can read! We brought you down here because we're the only ones who know about this place. It's part of an old tunnel network that connects different places on the island. What's up, guys? Talking island mysteries, my favorite topic. I was just in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd pop in. Trapper, you said this place was private.
Don't look at me. I didn't tell him about it. Half the appeal of this spot is getting away from people like him.
Jeez.
See when I'm not wanted.
So you three a throuple now, or? Because I gotta say, really didn't get the whole Trapper spirit thing, but hey, if it's not my business, I don't stick my nose in it.
We're not a thing!
Nobody traps the Trapper. Not with traps or with relationships. And you do realize you're sticking your nose in our business right now, right? Wow, hostile! If you want to talk about it, just say so. Anyhow, the tunnel has some very interesting features. If you head about 50 meters down that way, you'll find GET OUT! Wraith looks around just to be doubly sure that Trapper's addressing him. I was leaving. This island, it's a lonely place, which is great for me. I love to be alone. Trapper, on the other hand, he's needy. And after a lot of pursuit, I finally let him catch up to me, and it became, well, I don't want to call it a relationship because somebody didn't want to have that talk, but we were more than friends.
I dispute the events as told. For the record, I don't pursue, I stalk, and I lie in wait.
Seeing eye to eye was not one of the things we were good at. So, I hate to ask, but I did just look into the refrigerator-sized death lamp, so I guess I'm more of a glutton for punishment than I thought.
What were you good at? Well, for starters.
Excuse me? I'll take that question, thank you very much. If you know anything about me by now, it's that I'm on a quest.
For revenge!
Exactly. What you might not know, Trapper is like a great classical maestro of revenge.
Trapper blushes behind the mask. That's one way to compliment a killer.
Revenge against friends who had turned their back and betrayed him. Revenge against his father for making him into a monster. Revenge against a barista who wrote Ewan on his cappuccino, knowing his name was actually Evan. For someone who thinks about revenge as much as I do, Trapper is an inspiration. But they say to never date your heroes.
Good advice.
Then you came along, Michaela. You showed me it's okay to be lost, to feel pathetic, to push on when you have nothing real to offer anyone.
Not sure where you got all of that from, but okay.
You held a mirror up to my own doubts and fears and showed me that they aren't everything about me, that I can embrace those things but not be defined by them. You showed me that life after death can be more than just an obsession with revenge and mind-blowing sex on the ground in a dark cave of a dusty old tunnel.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Oh, I thought about it. Trapper nudges you in the ribs with his elbow. Gross. Clearly appealing to Trapper's better features has been a winning strategy for dumping his ass. Because he seems to be taking it well. This whole half-assed dating show parody thing, at first I obviously thought it was a lame idea. What kind of moron thought there was an audience for this? I'm gonna go. Anyway. And I don't want to give up on it. I don't want to give up on us. Listen, Michaela, while you were knocked unconscious by some minor head trauma, like total weakling, Spirit confided in me that she has real feelings for you. I took it extremely well, naturally, because I trust her and value her opinion. That doesn't mean I trust you. If you want to get to her, you have to get through me first. What? By passing Trapper's test, TM. Coming to Behavior TV, Sundays at 8 p.m. Public Trapper's test. Answer my questions correctly or die by my blade. I hate it here. What's Spirit's real name? The one given to her by her murderous father, which she only lets her real friends call her. Okay, you got that one. Don't celebrate. Question 2. What lives inside Spirit? A dragon. Question 3. Where did Spirit work back when she was a normal college girl? A restaurant. I don't know, I think I would date a waitress. Question 4. What's Spirit's favorite color? Black. Are these questions largely superficial? Sure. Question 5. According to Spirit, who's the worst at being dead? When I pitched Trapper's test to the suits at Behavior TV, they told me there was no room in the budget for a new car to be given as the final prize for winning. So I killed them all, right there on the spot. While killing them, I didn't solve any of the budget problems, but it sure felt good. I'm telling you this, A, to brag, and B, to explain why the only thing you're going to win is me saying congratulations for passing the test. Not that it was some huge challenge. I mean, the woman obsessed with a giant light that shines in the dark has a chip on her shoulder about being seen. Go figure. So I guess I approve of you dating Spirit or whatever. I never really cared about it in the first place. I was just hoping you'd slip up and give me a good excuse to wet my blade with your blood. Maybe I'll find a reason tomorrow. For now, you two have fun. Wink, wink, wink. I'm sorry you had to endure that. What, 5 questions? That was nothing. Not even that. As ridiculous and unnecessary as it was, the whole thing. The waking up in a random tunnel and overhearing our argument, the news that Trapper and I had something going on, and the stupid quiz. All of it. Especially the whole Trapper out catchphrase. It's only because I actually like you. None of it would have happened if I didn't. And I like you too, Spirit. Please, call me Rin. Rin. I didn't really feel like our lighthouse experience was completed. There was something else I wanted to show you. Alone, up in the lantern room of the tower. Get your mind out of the gutter. Get your mind out of the gutter. Okay. Wait, it is that kind of game? Yeah, let's go, narrator! Come back there with me. There's no place I'd rather be. Most importantly, you're excited to be here with Spirit, which makes this all the more crushing. Claudette, Dwight, what are you saying you here? Oh, did I say funny? I meant tragic. Tragic? I don't think so. It would be tragic about a family reunion. Those are always joyous occasions in my experience. Oh, God, no. The lens begins to go in an unfamiliar way. You're prepared to shield your eyes in case something bad happens to you again. Now isn't the time for a reality show adjacent shenanigan. Dwight, shield your eyes. We don't know what the lighthouse will... don't interrupt. You'd think after all this time you'd know. Though we've got your best interest in mind. Wait, what? No, of course I don't think that. Watch your ears, friend. I asked you not to interrupt. Anyway. It's breezy up here. You should have packed a sweater. What the hairy hell? Watch the language. You shouldn't speak that way. Around your elders. Ah! Hello, Oni. Grandpa? My little Rin. You are such a woman now. They grow up so fast. Awa? Michaela? Me, Grandpa Kazan Yamanoka. Technically not just Grandpa. Technically he's my great-great-great-great-great-grandpa. But that's a lot of greats to say in a row. I haven't seen my little Rin since I watched over her from the afterlife while she was just a little girl. And I expect you all to say the greats. It's a matter of honor and respect. Except Rin. She can do whatever she wants, my precious little angel. But you! He stares at you with demonic red eyes. You're pretty sure even the decorative third eye on his mask is looking at you. You mongrel! You must treat me with respect, or so help me! I'll be cleaning bits of your head off my kanado. A kanado is like a metal baseball bat covered in spikes. I'm not sure what a peasant like you is doing so close to a descendant of the noble Yamamoka bloodline in the first place. Dirk! Claudine! Explain what's going on to me! It's right, sir. And Claudette, remember? We explained to you that you were going to come meet with your great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter's suitor to give or withhold your approval. 5 greats! Great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, sir, your honor, master, sir. Right, he's a samurai, not a judge. Grandpa, they must have summoned you here because they think you have great judgment, and because they summoned my father. If they summoned my father, I'd be too distracted by torturing him for all eternity to continue with the rest of the... whatever. Ah, yes, that makes sense. Only a man of my own power and magnitude can help. So, nice to meet you, Kazan. Only my friends and family call me Kazan. Those who tremble in fear at my presence call me Oni. You're seeing a resemblance to Trapper here. Yeah, that's a little upsetting. Anyway, this deserves more thought, but now's not the time to consider that fact. Well, you don't scare me, so I'll stick with Kazan. Peasant! I realize now the true purpose of my visit is to extinguish your light. He waves his katana in the air at you menacingly, like great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, like great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter, apparently. Hold up there, Grandpops, not so fast. You're only supposed to kill them if they deserve it. First, you should get to know them. Young people these days, always wanting to kill people, instead of insisting they must deserve it. Back in my day, you did what needed to be done because your nobility depended on it. You see, when I was a young man, we didn't have foreigners on our land. We didn't need them. We had an abundance of culture already, a little too much if you ask me. But I didn't make the rules. The rulers did, exactly how it should be. Literature, art, commerce, theater, fashion, poetry, puppet shows, ghost stories, courtesans, gambling, fighting, fine dining, fast food, public executions. What were we talking about? Spirit giggles at her okay. I'm not saying all these every time at Omi's forgetfulness. You wonder, does she even like this guy? Listen up, old man. We don't have time for you to do a list of every activity available to a samurai in the entirety of the Edo period. Silence, peasant! You're showing your ignorance. Samurai were forbade from many activities that didn't benefit the Bishio Code, such as attending certain theatrical performances, for instance. Sometimes, however, a samurai would put on a disguise in order to seek out entertainment. I'm not saying I did that, because I had honor and a body built like an entire castle that is quite hard to hide. But clearly, you have neither my honor nor my physique. You don't even know about the ins and outs of shifting rules of traditional Japanese samurai etiquette. You fool! Rin, what would you want with such an uneducated admirer as this? You find it hard to believe that a contemporary person knows all that much about who wasn't and wasn't allowed to do what leisure activities. Oh wait, I get it. Sweet Rin, my beautiful descendant. You've invited me here to do what you're too kind to do. Bash this jerk's head in. Claude, Doris, fetch my kanado. Rin, wrap your robe around this mongrel's hands and hold them still. We'll splatter their brains on the beach together as family. Grandpa, no! That's not why I invited you here at all. In fact, I didn't invite you. Claudette and Dwight did. Ah, yes, sure, wink. I swear, Michaela has a good soul, and the heart of a warrior. They have fought for my love in their own way, faced down death more than once, and put up with their fair share of nonsense. Nonsense which seems to be endless. Can we wrap this up already? Of course. Who am I to expect anyone to wait around for my approval? I've only been hanging out as a ghost and watching my bloodline be polluted by cowards and quitters for 5 generations. Just come give your ancestor-in-law a hug. Smart-drawn Oni beckons you closer. There's no way he's ever hugged anyone in his entire life. I'm good over here, actually. Rin, now, push them my way and I'll split them in half. The sacrifice of this usurper is to the Yamuka bloodline. Will surely bring us back to life and set us back on the course of honor. You're so silly, Grandpa. We both know that only one sacrifice can get our family back on track. Revenge on my father, your great-great-great-great-great-grandson, traitor to the Yamamoka name. The lust for violence in your voice, it fills me with cheer. Is he crying? I'll never forget who I am. I suppose if this is the person you want to be with to go on your journey of bloody revenge, I should trust your judgment. The strength inside you blooms from the same cherry tree that was planted centuries ago by our shared ancestors. And if Mikhail ever treats me poorly, you have my word on our family's honor. I will wield my katana and gut them like a fish. A tear rolls down from behind his demonic mask. I'm marrying into this. This sounds fun. One last word of advice, my dear girl. The father stuff, don't forget it. But maybe stop focusing so specifically and obsessively on it. What he did, it was awful. But it was already done. Do something for yourself now. Just my 2 cents. Be well, Rin. I will see you again soon. Now let's go, servants. Clint, Denise, return me to the stables. I assume my dragon has been fed and tended to. Yes, sure. I'm sorry if I was disrespectful to your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. He seemed like a very special man. I realize I'll never measure up to someone like that. A warrior with a hell of a fashion sense. I mean, that mask. Don't worry. I would never expect you to. Or want you to, really. If all I wanted was the biggest fruit alive, I'd be down in Trapper's Cave right now, avoiding his vintage bear traps. But that's not the life I imagined for myself. The sense of abstract duty, anger, and a world changing around me, a lust for blood, that's no way to live. And yet, as you know, that is the Yamamoka way of life. Forever I'm cursed to battle against the dragon that lives inside me, or at least, maybe I was until now. Call me the dragon tamer, baby. You haven't won this game yet. Please don't ruin it. Sorry, I have no idea where that came from. I think we've spent enough time in this lantern room. We should get back to the beach. The moon sets a romantic mood as storm clouds roll in and surround the black lighthouse. You know, the sun might have set, but if we wait long enough, it will rise again. Spirit moves her sheer rope, showing you her strappy black bikini. Her pale skin glows under the light of the moon. Maybe you could help me get a head start on applying tomorrow's sunscreen. Again? I mean, yeah, of course. Last time was... I definitely felt more connected to you afterwards. To be totally real with you, I kind of just asked you as a goof, but I enjoyed it. I swear, though, if you tell anyone about this, I will not be labeled a foot freak. Not that there's anything wrong with feet. It's just that something about that kind of attention really gets people talking. Steady. Oh, shit. God, that's so goddamn hot. I'm feeling your hands sliding up and down my feet, in between my toes. My skin has never been more moist. I hate it here. Get up here right now. Oh! Before you find a towel to wipe off your lotion hand, Spirit grabs you and pulls you in close. Her lips lock onto yours. They're surprisingly soft and warm. The sensation is incredible. Clouds cover the moon. You find yourself on the beach with Spirit in complete darkness. You can feel the narrow straps of her bathing suit come undone and come to life, shaking through the air, wrapping around your body, lifting you up off your feet. Come here, you. So this is what it feels like to fly. Spirit pulls you close. You feel bits of glass press into your flesh. Pain and pleasure mix and wash over you like the ocean, salty air singing your skin as you writhe against your undead lover. The lighthouse howls. In the darkness, you're pretty sure that Spirit lets the dragon inside of her take over. If it kills you, you're sure it will have been worth it. The clouds part as you manage to pull yourself, exhausted, away from Spirit. A chunk of broken glass is lodged in your shoulder. When you pluck it from your skin, it drips blood. Sorry, I think this got stuck to me when you know, I was having the best night of my life. Spirit drags her fingertip over the sharp end of the glass shard. Keep it. Consider it a memento. I've got plenty more where that came from. It's kind of hot. Time to confess my feelings! Since you're both still alive, we can assume you had a good time. You point to many open wounds on you. Yeah, you can say that. I think some of those might be infected. You should really get them checked out. If you're actually going through with this, the thing you should get checked out is your head, my friend. Spirit is absolutely nuts. You must survive a week. Didn't you just give us your blessing like 3 scenes ago? You might think that she's all sad and introspective, but the truth is she's a demon hell-bent on revenge. She'll ultimately stop at nothing to satisfy the lust of death that courses through her veins. I can't get her out of my mind. Too bad she's mine now, Trapper. Fuck you! Duh. I know all of that. I think it's hot. She's the goth girlfriend of my dreams, and you're jealous you lost her. So you're trying to run me out of town. Guess what? I'm not scared of you. I'm with Ren now. She's got my back, literally. She carved her name in it with a piece of broken glass. Thank God it was only 3 letters long. Okay, we get it. Everyone's super chuff. You got a show to finish. Let's do this. Please, Spirit, take this bouquet and prepare your vows. As soon as you both say I do, we can send you off on your exclusive honeymoon. Hold up, no one's saying I do today. Yeah, nobody is. Wait, what? Marriage is an archaic social institution put in place by men in power thousands of years ago to maintain their control in the world. I'm not interested in playing their game. I'm not interested in doing what everyone tells me, or living by any rules that I don't believe in deep down in my heart. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't remember being asked if I wanted to take part in this bootleg reality TV bullshit. Did anyone here agree to this? I'm still not entirely sure what's going on. Spirit has manifested her katana in a moment the mood has changed from romantic to a place of terror. Wait, we're having fun! If you say I do, we can— I won't! With a slice of her blade, Claudette is no more, replaced by 2 halves of Claudette, neither of which are specifically alive. Dwight's horrified. This chance he actually won himself. Luckily for him, Khaki hides a lot of things, and luckily for him, urine isn't one of them. Trapper and Huntress and Wraith are eating popcorn. Where'd they get popcorn? You're under the impression that Claudette and Dwight did all the cooking around here, so sorry, now's not the time to think about it. This is for you. You know what to do. Spirit hands you her katana. You look at a whimpering Dwight and feel everyone waiting for you to put him out of his misery. Michaela, we're on a very tight schedule. You respect schedules, right? If you kill me, I'm afraid of what comes next, so could you not? This doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is taking control, taking it away from them, taking it into your own hands, and carving out a new destiny for yourself. Kill this pathetic worm. Kill him and join me on my mission. Together we'll be unstoppable. Yeah, that's an offer. Bye, Dwight! With the ease of slicing a wedding cake, you cut him in 2. His dead body slumps on the ground in front of you. That was so incredibly sexy! You really should meet my friend Biz. Rin places her hands over yours and you both hold her katana, your fingers intertwined. You look to the other killers and see something new on their faces. Respect. Yeah, I murdered Dwight. You're one of them now, ruthless, uncompromising, splattered with blood, a killer. My father is going to really crap his pants when he sees the 2 of us coming. You know, the demon seagulls weren't needed. What are you waiting for, lover? I'm not gonna lie. That's hot. Just thinking about how much I love you, Rin. Well, stop thinking and show me. Think we'll ever leave this place? What do you care? I hope we don't. Booyah! Alright. That was the end of the Spirits run. I have officially done all of the good endings for all of the killers in the Hooked on You Dead by Daylight dating simulator. This was really fun, actually. Super creative. I know that each of the killers has the Just Friends and the Heartbreaker ending for each one. So if you guys want to see that, please leave a comment below and tell me that you do. I'm going to start trying to find new things to maybe record. If you have any requests or things that you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please click all of these little things that are about to pop up for more stuff that I do, and subscribe. Leave a like, and if you really want to stay up to date on what I'm doing, click the bell. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys the next time we create a nightmare. Mwah! Bye!